Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're doing a quick and non-spoiler review of Carnage #1, which just came out today at the time of this recording, from Marvel Comics. I've been looking forward to this one for a little bit now. They're relaunching the Carnage series, but it's really part of kind of like an ongoing story thread that we've been following with the Carnage symbiote for a long time now. For the last couple years, we had that previous Carnage ongoing that was by Rom V. That kind of led into Death of the Venomverse, and we got to see Carnage as a symbiote, separate from Cletus Cassidy, going around the multiverse, collecting different powers from different gods so that he can resist all the weaknesses that a symbiote usually has. But the premise behind this new series that they're talking about and all the synopsises and everything before it actually came out was talking about Carnage reuniting with Cletus Cassidy. But here's some interior artwork. We kind of get that basically without getting into too many spoilers. We see Carnage create his own version of Cletus Cassidy based on the memory of him as a person. This is a really violent comic, even more so than the last Carnage series. It has a parental advisory rating, I was noticing, so you're getting some good gore in here if that's the kind of thing that you're into. And it starts off really in the thick of what we already had going on, at the end of Death of the Venomverse, right? With Carnage at his most powerful, with all of these powers and stuff that he's collected all over the multiverse and everything, like I was saying. But he's thrust back into an Earth setting that we haven't seen him in for a couple years at this point, right? So it's really taking more of a ground level approach, except that Carnage is also this really powerful godlike being, and they really lean into that idea of him being as powerful as a god and what that means, what worship, I guess, to Carnage would mean, and him just kind of setting up a new status quo on Earth. It also gets Flash Thompson involved, which I'm actually really excited about. That's one of my favorite characters. I was a big fan of the original Agent Venom run. So seeing him back in here, I guess he's anti-Agent Venom now. He's had kind of a rocky history over the last few years, but after being resurrected and everything, he hasn't really been too involved in anything for a while now. This is the first appearance that he's made. I want to say for a year maybe. I think he was in Extreme Carnage, that event that happened a little while ago. But it looks like he's going to be the main protagonist in this series. The interesting thing about the last Carnage ongoing by Rom V was just that we didn't really have a protagonist, right? Carnage was a villain for sure. There's that serial killer that was following him around for a while, but for the most part there was no actual hero like Cletus Cassidy, and it was really just a villain comic. Sorry, I meant Flash Thompson, right? So getting him in here is always going to be a win for me because I'm a fan of that character. Hopefully you guys are going to be enjoying that aspect of the story too. Artwork in here, I'll say, is really good. Clean line work and everything. Definitely not anything to write home about, but this was a really creepy issue. It was really easy to follow. We've got Torn Grombeck writing ongoing, so she's taking over from Rom V. I was a little bit not too sure of her as a writer going into this because I feel like some of her past stuff has been a little bit wordy, maybe a little bit driven by plot. There's a lot going on in some of her issues, but this is easy to follow as a first issue. It did help to have read all the previous Carnage stuff that's come out over the last couple of years, but I'd say this is also pretty introductory. You get a recap in the first couple pages and in the credits page and everything. So overall, pretty big recommendation for me, honestly. I really enjoyed this issue. For a score out of 10, I think I'll probably give this first issue an 8 out of 10. I really enjoyed it from start to finish. There are some things, like I said, that you probably need to know going into it, but I do recommend it as a first issue if you're into Carnage as a character. It is not for the faint of heart, I guess. There's some big violence in the issue, but yeah, that's about it for my review. Let me know what you're thinking of the issue if you already picked it up, what you're thinking of Carnage comics lately down in the comment section below, and that's about it from me. I'll see you guys in the next one. Happy Thanksgiving, guys.